welcome to SteamPunk. This is your host, SteamPunk Bob, and today is Alien Breed Impact. Alien Breed is a series developed by Team 17, and Impact is the first game in a reboot trilogy of Alien Breed. The original Alien Breed games were for the Amiga, according to Wikipedia. This reboot series, however, I can't help but feel they got some subtle design inspirations from Dead Space. Or maybe I'm wrong, and they had intended from the beginning of the design process to have our hero be the chief engineer of a starship that's been decimated by aliens with an envirosuit that has some integrated user health bar function. The two ships are at least on different missions, so that's something. Dead Space, you were on a mining vessel, I think, whereas our ship in Alien Breed was on some sort of diplomatic mission. I'm a bit unsure what kind of diplomatic mission they were on, however, because as soon as I get control, on a day that I have no reason to believe I would be fighting hordes of aliens, I'm holding an assault rifle and have a pistol in reserve. Okay, maybe I'm passing through a dangerous sector or something. Maybe it's like Warhammer 40k, and the only way to do FTL travel is to use hell as a waypoint. Then I found the flavor text for the weapons. The IPC's standard sidearm and planetary combat staple with armor-piercing rounds introduced by Intex in 2273. Sidearm? This civilization has a fully automatic plasma assault rifle with armor-piercing rounds as a sidearm? And I find it important to carry this thing every day in the event of alien invasion or coup or pirate attack instead of, say, a flashlight? I'd think a flashlight would be more useful for a starship's chief engineer, but while I had my assault rifle from moment one, I needed to go into a restricted area to get myself a flashlight. Did I say restricted area? Sorry, I meant the mess hall. I get those two confused all the time. Must have gotten turned around by the fact that I didn't have security clearance to get into the mess hall and had to find a key card for it. Do engineers not need to eat in the future? I'd find that pretty convenient. It'd lower my bills a good bit. Plus, if I gave up eating, I guess I'd always drink on an empty stomach, making that vice cheaper too. So I keep pushing along on my quest to disable the main reactor so it doesn't explode and destroy the remains of the ship, and wait a second. Armor-piercing rounds introduced? How is one plasma bolt more armor-piercing than another? There's some precedent in video games of energy weapons having AP capabilities. In Fallout New Vegas, any energy weapon tends to reduce enemy armor effectiveness unless you're using crappy bulk ammo. But the part that really makes my brain itch is that armor-piercing rounds were introduced in 2273. This means that for some unknown amount of time, our fully automatic plasma assault rifles were firing plasma bolts that presumably did just as much damage as the current ones to unarmored targets, but less to armored ones. How is a blob of ionized death specifically armor-piercing? Do I just think pointy thoughts while I fire? Alright, good. Reactor has been disabled, and now I start looking for an elevator to get off the engineering deck, but in the meantime I stumbled on a flamethrower. After the assault rifle flavor text, I just have to see it for my flamethrower. Oh, so non-agricultural use of flamethrowers is a war crime, eh? What the hell is this diplomatic mission doing carrying them around? And why does this engineer know exactly how to operate one? According to the flavor text, improper care and operation can kill you. Is our engineer secretly special ops? The second level begins and...
Conrad to bridge. Don't tell me we just collided with another ghost ship.
That would be an asteroid. We have drifted into a belt circling the ice planet. A former moon, most likely.
Oh, sounds fascinating. I'll give you a holler when I'm through here.
Conrad, this is important. Mainframe is one deck below you. Paxton appears to be dead, and you are the closest man I have. I need you to make your way down and get the mainframe online. And you will have to hurry.
Why?
Because the hulk we are attached to is dragging us towards the planet's atmosphere. Without the mainframe online, the Leopold's engines are just scrap metal. Get them online and get to engine control.
If I'm not done in an hour, guess I'll give you a ring.
Best of luck, Conrad.
Disconnect.
Hey, ship's medic.
Care to tell me why you're skulking around in the dark?
I came down here to see if there were
Here,
any...
syringes are by the back wall. Careful of the elevator.
You don't want any for that arm?
I'm digging the comic book style of the between-level cutscenes. They're simple, but they do the job, and they're put together well. Thing is, outside of those comic books and your own grunts of pain, there are no voices in the levels themselves. This is a bit disconcerting when your support person, who has a voice, she just spoke in that cutscene I showed you. She gives updates to your mission objectives, but they just appear in text in the bottom left. I don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me. Sometimes I have trouble getting my gun to fire if monsters are too close to me, but my ability to sucker punch monsters seems a bit flaky. Control and you do a gun bash, but it seems difficult to impossible to actually hit anybody with it. The result here is that I am a complete wreck in close combat, and most of my deaths have been because of being overwhelmed because I haven't been able to attack, which has resulted in my picking off monsters as they come, trying to hide in corners whenever possible, and hoping there was no unlimited enemy spawn. So far I haven't run into any unlimited spawns, but I do worry that I will. Fire! Everyone likes the fire. It's why we play video games, and possibly why this engineer knows already how to use a flamethrower. I have some problems with the interface. It just doesn't feel right. I don't understand why, but I just can't get comfortable with the controls. 3 out of 5. The story is important when you're doing survival horror. There's got to be some reason why we're in this hellhole. There also has to be some solid presentation in order for the game to be at all scary. It could be because I'm a minor deity, but I don't really have any sense of fear. And as such, the Cole score is, for me, 3 out of 5. Steam impressed me for the most part. The graphics are fine. They're not great, but they're good. The sound design is pretty good, with a sense of danger and malice as you explore the ship. The acting between missions is fine too, but the complete lack of voices outside those comics is rather jarring. Overall, the Steam score is a nice 4 out of 5. Electric. The game feels a bit rough and unpolished at times. The camera controls are tough for me to get used to, and there's just something about the interface that, while I am having fun, it's a bit difficult to explain. It's fun, but more in short bursts than in long sits. There's also the fact that Alien Breed seems to be one game for the price of 3. There's absolutely no reason to play just Impact, because the final scene in Impact is finding a giant, obviously boss monster, then telling your support person, "I'll call you back." Roll credits. Seriously. Why not just make one longer game so I don't mysteriously lose half my arsenal for no reason? 3 out of 5. We're left with a total score of 13 out of 20. The Alien Breed reboot, or at least Game 1 Impact, and the start of Game 2 Assault aren't bad games by any stretch, but I find it a bit difficult to call them good ones. You know, Gunpoint had a megacorp that sold weapons named Intex 2. Is this just some kind of joke I'm not getting?